My beloved child, listen carefully and type Amen if you are going to stay till the end. What I am about to tell you will change the direction of your life. Do not ignore this message. So listen closely. Not with your ears, but with the quiet place inside your chest where truth whispers before your mind can argue with it. Something inside you already knows why you are here in this exact moment, reading these words as if they were placed gently into your path by invisible hands. This is not pressure. This is not fear. This is a soft interruption from eternity itself. A warm tap on the glass of your rushing life, a reminder that your soul was never meant to wander this far without light. There is a presence around you right now, gentle but impossible to ignore, like sunlight touching your face through a window you forgot to open. It has been patient with you. It has watched your silent battles, the nights you smiled for others but felt empty inside, the moments you promised yourself you would do better, live better, become better, and then felt yourself drifting again. And yet, you were never abandoned. Even in your distractions, even in your doubts, even in the moments you chose noise over truth, the divine never stepped away from you. Love does not retreat just because it is ignored. Light does not stop shining just because someone closes their eyes. Right now, in this exact breath you're taking, something sacred is inviting you back. Not with anger, not with punishment, but with a warmth that feels like home after a long journey. You may feel it as a quiet pull and a strange calm, a feeling that maybe, just maybe, your life is not random. Because it isn't. Every delay you faced, every closed door, every lesson disguised as pain, every time you felt forgotten while others seemed to rise, none of it was wasted. You were being shaped in invisible ways. Your spirit was being strengthened like gold refined slowly in fire. Not destroyed, refined. Take a slow breath right now and imagine something. Imagine above you a soft golden sky, not blinding, not overwhelming, just peaceful, glowing like the first morning of creation. From that sky, a warm light begins to descend slowly toward you. Not fast, not dramatic, gentle, intentional, personal. This light knows your name. It reaches your head first, like warm oil being poured softly, dissolving the noise in your thoughts. The overthinking begins to quiet. The regrets begin to loosen their grip. The fear that you are behind in life begins to melt like frost under sunlight. Let it move down into your chest now. Feel it touching the places where disappointment tried to live. Feel it entering the hidden rooms where you stored rejection, comparison, guilt, and silent shame. Watch what happens as this light touches those places. They begin to soften, to open, to breathe again. You were never too far gone. You were never disqualified. You were never forgotten. The same power that paints galaxies across endless space still pays attention to the smallest details of your life. The same voice that called light out of darkness still calls purpose out of confusion. And right now that voice is saying quietly inside you, come back to what is real, come back to what gives life. Come back to the path that leads to peace. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Not because time is running out, but because your peace is waiting. There is something powerful that happens when a heart becomes honest again, not perfect, not flawless, just honest. When you simply admit, I want to be guided again, I want clarity again, I want alignment again. That small decision sends a signal into the spiritual world stronger than any performance or ritual. It is the moment the lost traveler turns toward the lighthouse instead of the storm. You do not need complicated words. Even a whisper from your soul is heard. Even a thought like, help me find my way again, reaches heaven faster than sound. And in that moment, something begins shifting. Doors you cannot see begin adjusting. Delays you did not understand begin aligning. The weight you carried alone begins to redistribute because you were never meant to carry everything yourself. Imagine now standing in front of a massive gate made of light. It stretches higher than your doubts and wider than your past mistakes. For a long time you thought it was locked. You thought you had to prove something to enter, but look closer. It was never locked. It was waiting for you to believe you were allowed to walk forward again. As you step closer, the gate slowly opens without force, without struggle, just responding to your willingness to move toward the light instead of away from it. Behind it, you see not just peace, but possibility. Opportunities you thought you missed. Versions of yourself you thought were impossible. Joy that does not depend on approval. This is what happens when alignment begins. Because divine love does not just heal, it restores. It does not just forgive, it rebuilds. It does not just comfort, it elevates. There is abundance attached to obedience of the heart. There is provision attached to trust. There is unexpected favor attached to faith that keeps walking even without full understanding. This is where many people misunderstand spiritual life. They think returning to the divine means losing everything fun, everything beautiful, everything prosperous. But truth is the opposite. When your spirit realigns, your life begins to flow instead of fight. You start attracting instead of chasing. You start receiving instead of begging. You start building instead of surviving. Because heaven is not poor. Light is not limited. Love is not scarce. There is an energy of provision that begins to move when your heart opens again, not always instantly, not always dramatically, but undeniably. Imagine now a gentle rain beginning to fall around you. Not water, but tiny particles of golden light. Each drop carrying peace. Each drop carrying opportunity. Each drop carrying unseen protection. As they land on your shoulders, they dissolve heaviness. As they touch your hands, they activate purpose. As they touch your path, they prepare connections you have not even met yet. This is miracle rain, not fantasy, alignment, not luck. Response. Because when a soul turns toward light sincerely, light begins turning circumstances toward that soul. Hear this clearly. Release what is draining you. Step away from what keeps darkening your thoughts. Protect your attention like it is sacred ground. These are not suggestions. These are keys, because what you constantly look at, you slowly become. What you constantly listen to shapes your inner voice. What you constantly allow becomes your environment. So listen carefully to this divine instruction. Stand up inside yourself, not physically, spiritually. Refuse to keep calling yourself weak. Refuse to keep repeating the story that you are late, unlucky, or incapable. Speak differently about your life starting now. This is your first command. Lift your thoughts toward hope even when your emotions hesitate. And the second command, walk away from anything that keeps convincing you that you are small, because you were not designed for smallness of spirit. There is a future version of you already existing in possibility. Calmer, wiser, financially stable, emotionally grounded, spiritually strong. That version is not imaginary. It is waiting for your current decisions to match its direction. Your discipline is the bridge, your focus is the door, your faith is the invitation. And yes, even your finances are connected to your alignment, not through magic, but through clarity. A clear mind makes better decisions. A peaceful heart recognizes better opportunities. A focused spirit wastes less energy. Prosperity often begins as inner order before it becomes outer results. Imagine now you are holding a small seed of light in your hands. It represents your future provision, your stability, your success, your security. At first, it seems small compared to your needs, but as you protect it with faith and consistent action, it begins glowing brighter. Roots begin forming beneath it, invisible preparation. Then slowly, it begins to grow upward. You do not scream at a seed to grow. You remain consistent while it grows. In the same way, your progress is happening even when it feels quiet. Do not insult your own growth by calling it nothing just because it is not finished. Something sacred happens when gratitude enters the process. Gratitude accelerates what anxiety delays. Gratitude expands what fear contracts. Try this quietly inside yourself now. Not loudly, just sincerely. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for protecting me from things I thought I wanted. Thank you for the strength I did not know I had. Thank you for the doors preparing to open. Thank you for the peace that is replacing my chaos. Feel what happens when appreciation replaces complaint. Your nervous system relaxes. Your breathing deepens. Your mind stops scanning for threats and starts noticing possibilities. This is how faith begins to feel real, not as an idea, but as an atmosphere. Picture now a long corridor of doors in front of you. Some are labeled with things you prayed for long ago. Some remained closed because you were not ready. Some because they were not right. But notice now, a few of them are beginning to glow softly. Timing is changing. You are changing, and when you change, your access changes. Do not be afraid of success when it comes. Do not sabotage blessings because they feel unfamiliar. You asked for growth. Growth changes your environment. You asked for elevation. Elevation changes your circle. You asked for provision. Provision changes your habits. Trust the transformation you prayed for. And when doubt tries to return, remember this. You are not trying to convince the divine to love you. You are learning to accept that you already are. Nothing you have done surprised heaven. Nothing you regret shocked eternity. Mercy was always part of the plan. Restoration was always available. Even now you are being guided more than you realize. Some delays were protection, some endings were redirection, some loneliness was preparation. You were not being buried, you were being planted. And planted things do not stay hidden forever. They rise, they break through, they reach light. Let this truth settle into you now as warmth. You are allowed to begin again as many times as necessary. You are allowed to outgrow old versions of yourself. You are allowed to receive goodness without apology. You are allowed to become stable, successful, peaceful, and spiritually grounded. Let these words move through you slowly now like a river of quiet certainty. I am supported, even when I cannot see how. I am being guided toward what is meant for me. I am attracting opportunities that match my growth. I am becoming disciplined, focused, and clear. I am open to financial increase and wise stewardship. I am surrounded by favor I cannot yet see. I am walking in peace, not pressure. Let those settle. Repeat them internally when fear gets loud, because your inner language becomes your outer experience more than you realize. Imagine now one final vision. You are standing on a mountain at sunrise. Below you is everything you survived. Every confusion, every delay, every emotional storm. Above you is a sky turning from deep blue into gold. As the first rays touch your face, you feel something you have not felt in a long time. Relief. Not because life became perfect, but because you are no longer fighting alone. Feel a gentle hand of light resting over your shoulder. Not controlling, just reassuring. A presence that says without words, keep going. I am with you. I have always been with you. And now a quiet peace settles over your thoughts like soft snow. Calm, clean, silent, nothing urgent, nothing forced, just presence, just breath. Just the quiet certainty that you are being led one step at a time. Carry this knowing with you after this moment ends. Return to it when noise returns, protect it when distraction tries to steal it. You are not required to rush your destiny. You are only asked to stay aligned with it. And as you continue forward, may peace settle into your decisions, clarity enter your plans, strength fill your discipline, and unexpected kindness meet you along your path. May your mind become calmer. May your work become fruitful. May your heart become lighter. May your future become brighter. And may you never forget that the same light you are searching for has been walking beside you the entire time. Stay here a little longer. Do not rush away from this stillness. There is something happening beneath the surface of your awareness, something gentle but powerful, like the quiet turning of the earth before sunrise. You may not see it yet, but your life is adjusting itself in response to the small decision you just made to listen instead of scroll past, to feel instead of ignore, to open instead of close. There is a sacred intelligence that notices even the smallest turn of the heart. Every time you choose growth over comfort, truth over distraction, purpose over temporary pleasure, something in the unseen world responds, not with noise, but with movement, not with pressure, but with preparation. Right now, your life may feel unfinished, like a story paused in the middle of an important chapter. You may sometimes wonder if you are falling behind while everyone else seems to be moving ahead. But what you cannot see is how carefully your timing is being arranged. Some people run fast toward things that are not meant to last. Some people receive quickly what they are not prepared to sustain. But you are being prepared to keep what you receive. There is strength forming in you that cannot be faked. Patience that cannot be borrowed, wisdom that cannot be downloaded instantly. These things are being built through your experiences, through your questions, through your quiet determination not to give up even when motivation disappears. The divine does not measure you by your loudest moments. It watches your private consistency. The effort nobody claps for. The discipline nobody notices. The choices you make when nobody is watching. That is where your real elevation begins. Feel this truth settle into your breathing. You are not trying to become worthy. You are remembering that you already carry divine worth within you. Imagine now you are walking through a vast open field at twilight. The air is calm, the sky painted in deep purples and soft gold. In the distance you see thousands of tiny lights floating like fireflies. As you move closer, you realize each light represents a possibility waiting for you to believe again. Dreams you placed aside, talents you doubted, ideas you postponed. As you reach out your hand, one of those lights slowly floats into your palm. It feels warm, alive, responsive. This is a reminder that your future is not a closed book. It is a living field of potential responding to your courage to continue. Sometimes you thought your biggest battle was with the world, but many times it was with your own thoughts, the voice that said, maybe I cannot, maybe I am not enough, maybe I missed my chance. That voice is not your truth. Your truth is quieter but stronger. It says, keep building, keep learning, keep trusting, keep walking. You do not need to have everything figured out to be guided. You only need willingness. Let this sink deeply into your awareness. Direction matters more than speed. Consistency matters more than intensity. Alignment matters more than approval. There are financial doors that open through skill. There are financial doors that open through relationships. There are financial doors that open through courage. And sometimes, there are financial doors that open simply because you stayed faithful when it was easier to quit. Provision often hides inside persistence. And abundance is not just money. It is clarity, health, opportunities, ideas, resilience, timing, and favor working together like instruments in a quiet orchestra. Picture now a river made of liquid light flowing gently toward you. It is not rushing. It is not chaotic. It moves with calm certainty. As it reaches your feet, it does not sweep you away. It supports you. You realize this river represents flow. The life you enter when you stop resisting your own growth. Step into it. Feel it around your ankles, your knees, your waist, your chest. Instead of fear, you feel support. Instead of instability, you feel balance. The more you relax into trust and disciplined action, the stronger the current carries you forward. This is what happens when effort and faith cooperate. You begin noticing ideas coming to you at the right time. You begin meeting people who know things you need to learn. You begin seeing chances where you once saw obstacles. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. Do not underestimate what your focused months can do. Do not underestimate what your next year can become if you protect your attention and respect your potential. You were not given curiosity by accident. You were not given intelligence by accident. You were not given ambition by accident. These are signals, invitations, evidence that you are meant to build something meaningful with your life. And even when you feel pulled toward distractions, remember, discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect in action. Each time you say no to what weakens you, you say yes to what strengthens you. Each time you choose learning over wasting hours, you are investing in a future version of yourself who will thank you. Each time you control an impulse instead of letting it control you, you become stronger than yesterday. Feel pride in that. Quiet pride. The kind that does not need applause. There will be moments you slip, moments you lose focus, moments you feel the old habits calling you back. Do not turn those moments into identity. They are just moments, not your definition. Return again. Real strength is not never falling. Real strength is returning faster each time. Imagine now a staircase made of crystal light rising in front of you. Each step represents a small improvement, a new concept learned, a distraction resisted, a skill practiced, a healthy routine kept. At first, the staircase seems long, but when you step on the first step, it glows, then the second, it glows. You realize something important. You do not need to see the entire staircase. You only need the next step. And as you continue, you begin to notice something else. Your confidence is not coming from motivation anymore. It is coming from evidence. Evidence that you can keep promises to yourself. Evidence that you can improve. Evidence that you can endure discomfort for something greater. This is how unshakable self-belief is built. Not through hype, but through kept commitments. Hear this clearly inside. Your future is still negotiable. Your story is still being written. Your best chapters are not behind you. And the same presence that guided prophets through deserts, that lifted the broken back into hope, that multiplied small offerings into overflow, that same presence still works through quiet faith today. Not always through spectacle, often through steady progress. You may ask silently sometimes, am I really being guided? Notice this. You were protected from some things you now realize would have damaged you. You learned lessons earlier than some. You still feel the desire to improve instead of surrender. These are signs of guidance. Even your discomfort with staying average is a form of grace pushing you forward. Now let your breathing slow again and feel this calm authority entering your thoughts. You are not here to merely pass time. You are here to grow, to contribute, to experience, to build, to love, to overcome, to rise. And yes, to prosper in ways that allow you to support yourself and others. There is nothing unspiritual about wanting stability. There is nothing wrong with wanting success earned with integrity. When your intentions stay clean, prosperity becomes a tool for good rather than a weight on the soul. Let this gentle declaration move through you now. Money is a resource, not a ruler. Success is a platform, not an identity. Faith is your foundation, not an accessory. Imagine now a horizon in front of you where night is slowly turning into morning. As the light spreads, you notice paths that were invisible in the dark. This is what clarity does. It does not create new paths. It reveals the ones that were already there. Stay patient with your unfolding clarity. What feels confusing today can feel obvious later. What feels impossible today can feel natural later. Growth changes your perspective before it changes your results. And as this message settles deeper into you, let yourself feel gratitude again. Not just for what you have, but for what is forming. Something is forming in your discipline. Something is forming in your studies. Something is forming in your resilience. Something is forming in your faith. You are not empty, you are under construction. And construction zones often look messy before they look magnificent. Trust the process you cannot fully measure yet. Trust the progress that feels slow but is real. Trust the quiet voice that keeps telling you, continue. As you move forward from this moment, carry these truths like invisible armor. Protect your mornings. Guard your focus. Respect your energy. Feed your mind truth. Strengthen your body. Center your spirit. These simple acts compound into extraordinary outcomes over time. And now feel this blessing settling over you like a soft covering of peace. May your efforts start connecting with the right outcomes. May your learning turn into skill. May your skill turn into opportunity. May your opportunity turn into provision. May your provision turn into generosity. May your generosity return to you multiplied in unexpected ways. Let this final calm certainty anchor you. You are moving forward even when it feels slow. You are becoming stronger even when it feels hard. You are being guided even when it feels quiet, and you are closer than you think. I am open to divine direction. I am building a strong and peaceful life. I am disciplined in my purpose. I am attracting meaningful success. I am aligned with abundance. I am protected in my journey. I am grateful.